Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shop Talk, an educational podcast brought to you by 124Go, focused on helping you, the salon and spa professional, succeed. Join John Palmieri and the coaches at 124Go as they pick the brains of the best educators, experts, and influencers in the beauty industry, and share best practices they use in their own thriving salons every single day. Our mission is to share relevant, real-time information with you, the ambitious salon and spa professional, to help you grow your career or your company. Get the latest updates, gather refreshing perspectives, and learn the latest tips and strategies so that you can elevate your business. Now, without any further delay, your Shop Talk hosts.
All right. Hello, podcast listeners. This is Jen Yeager. I am back with you with Shop Talk by 124Go. We are a podcast for the beauty industry, specifically for salon owners, but we love having stylists on here too. I am here today with my lovely co-host, Lindsay Young, and we have a guest with us today, Lucas Renfroe. So Lindsay, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here for this episode. I'm really excited to talk to Lucas. He is a marketing genius. He is huge with websites, SEO, all the things I am the worst at. So I'm really excited to hear from him, pick his brain. Welcome, Lucas.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
It's awesome to have you. So first, I want to know how you got started, both in the tech world and then how it relates, like how did you get involved with salons and specifically helping salons to grow through using websites and technology?
Okay, sure. I'll try to keep the long story really short. Involved in the tech world, I started in 1992, back when there was this thing called DOS. And my father was on the, I guess you'd say, cutting edge of technology, and worked in a department where he oversaw the IT, which was really, really up and coming. I mean, personal computers were just becoming a thing back then. And he bribed me with baseball cards to learn 20 DOS commands. So that got my IT career started, seeing as how I was able to learn some commands for a financial gain on my part. After that, I started building websites in high school and continued that path. Whether it really wasn't my primary path career-wise, but it was always on the back burner, and I was always working on projects for whether it be myself or friends throughout, I guess, what is that, the past 30 years? So, yeah, I guess I sound really old now. So about 30 years, been kind of working in this IT space. More recently, I think 6 years ago now, we opened a salon in Savannah with 0 clients and $0. So we're like, hey, what do we do? How do we get clients? Right. With a little bit of marketing background in some healthcare, a healthcare job I was in, I really understood the importance of search engine optimization and where people really go to do business with other people. So Google was the number one spot. You know, we go to Google to find pretty much everything we need. And the psychology of search is if it shows up on the top, it must be the best, right? So I said, I want to be here, here, and here. And then that should generate new clients for us. It did at a very rapid pace. So we went from $0 to 7 figures in 3 years. Wow. And I said, look, this could be, you know, a viable business to help other small business owners, not just salons. So we started a digital marketing company, myself and a couple of my partners from the healthcare business. And after about a year of working with small business owners in multiple industries, we really wanted to support the salon industry. So we came up with salon.marketing to really just focus on salons and spas and do website, search engine optimization, Google Ads, analytics, branding for the beauty industry.
I love it. I can testify to the importance of that. Interestingly enough, we opened our salon here in Knoxville in 2015, so 7 years ago this month. And when we opened, really SEO optimization, all the things behind the scenes wasn't taught I had never heard anything about that. I'd been in the industry since 2003. And so it sounds to me like you kind of got to grow through all of this because of your dad's expertise in the field. But really, I think you recognized around that same time that I started hearing about it that, hey, this could be a game changer for the salon industry. I don't even really remember how I found out about you, but I'll say Lucas actually redid our website after we've been open a few years. There were some things on the back end that he could explain that I don't really know. That's why I pay you to do it. That needed to be done differently. And he also was able to run, what would you call it? When you took a look at our keywords and all that, and you said, here's where you are and here's where I think I could have you.
Right.
Did some kind of diagnostic?
Like an audit. Yeah.
Like an audit. Okay. Yeah. So he did that. And I'm kind of that, jump in the water and then figure out how to swim type person. Something looks good. It seems right. I check it out and it seems like a good thing. My husband, on the other hand, my business partner, is a little more of the like, check it out some more, see if we can go buy a life jacket before we jump in. And so I still remember, I think it was towards the end of the year, and I just knew that it was going to be a good move to go ahead and bring on Lucas and his company. And so I emailed him back and I was like, let's do it. Let's start in January. And then I told my husband, we're starting that in January. And he was like, what? You already told him? Because it was a fairly good investment when you're not paying for anything like that. And then you start paying for something like that. And so I think at the time you told us that give it 6 months. Give it 6 months to really see the return on your investment. You're going to see some return before then, but give it 6 months. And you were like more than right. It blew my mind. And so since then I tell him like, you've got to pay someone to do that. I don't know what they do, but I know it works. And so maybe you can talk a little more about that, about a salon. If they don't know the benefit, what would be their first steps in finding out if it would be beneficial?
Well, I mean, there is a huge ocean of developers and search engine optimization companies, and you get 5 emails every day in your inbox that say, hey, your website's crap. Let me fix it for you, or whatever. I mean, you rank terrible on search. We can help you for $100 a month, right? When you receive some solicitation as just like that, or a phone call, hey, this is Google. That's really not, but when you get solicited, definitely be wary of what you're jumping into and curb your expectations if you do that. It is important to, I feel first step is to have a really good website. I know we kind of went flip-flop with you, and we've really changed our business model since then, and it worked for you, and it will still work for people, but optimizing our sites that we build is so much better and easier and faster to get results than trying to optimize something that someone else has done in the past. So that's why we definitely recommend having a really good website first. Building a website that is not just pretty, it's built to convert. And there are tons of platforms out there to DIY if you want to. Squarespace, Wix are probably the two most popular, and they offer some really valuable benefits for their low cost. And I would say, if you don't have the budget, or if you think you don't have the budget, most people have the budget, they just don't know they have the budget. But if that's you, Squarespace and Wix is a great place to start to have a DIY site. And once you have that site, then you can start your optimization journey. And it's important to find an agency or someone that is not going to gouge you. Most people don't know our industry, and they don't know the margins that salon owners are facing on a daily basis, which are next to nothing, as we all know, right? So it's very important to put your money into a valuable place that you can get a return on your investment, because it's so easy just to, people say buzzwords like SEO and impressions, and people just are like, I don't know what you're talking about, but take my money, right? So
I literally had to ask. I keep hearing SEO, just back not that long ago. And I'm like, I had to ask my fiance, I'm like, Todd, what does that mean? He's like, oh,
right.
Lindsay,
Exactly.
you should know this.
Search engine optimization. And
this isn't things we learn,
Right. So it's important to have that website core and base and know what your conversion rate is. How is my website working? Once you have it built, do you have any analytics on if it's working or not? That way you know where to tweak things if you have a low conversion rate. A low conversion rate would be below 10%. Is what we typically see for a salon owner coming in that does not have one of our sites or a site that is built to convert. A lot of times we'll see like a 2 to 3% conversion rate, which means 2 to 3 people that go on your website out of 100 click some sort of action item before leaving your site. Book now, call now, schedule, gift card, whatever it may be. You want that to be at least 10%. Jen, I think you guys are like at 45 or 50% conversion rate. So
yeah. I was actually looking at the end of the year. I like numbers, and so I was pulling reports, and I think it showed that close to a third of all of our revenue came from bookings directly through our website, which is pretty crazy because we have, I would say the majority of the rest of them were clients that had rebooked visits while they were in the salon before they left. We would call those pre-books in salon terms. But so to have a third through that website, I mean, it was good money coming from that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then, so step one is, having that website that can convert. And step two is driving traffic to that site. How do we get more visitors? I will say a lot of salon owners don't know that they're getting traffic to their website right now. And maybe those emails that you're getting are correct, and you do have a crappy website, and your 2% conversion rate, if you turn that into 20%, you just 10x your online business without doing anything other than getting a new website. You didn't even have to drive more traffic to your site. But step one is getting that website in place that works and converts. Then it's how do we get more traffic to that site.
Awesome. So I read a comment. You're very active on social media, which is really cool to me, in our industry specifically. And it seems to me like you hold that information with like open hands, that you have like your knowledge, you give it out there with open hands to whoever is asking and needing, which I absolutely love about you. So thank you for doing that for our industry and elevating it. There's so many things that we have to learn as stylists and salon owners. But one of the things that you said recently in regards to what we're talking about is, I like the way you phrased it. You said something about stop worrying about if your website's so pretty. Your website should be did it say a guest converting machine? It said something about a machine. Was that how you termed it?
Absolutely. I mean, your website should be you look at it like an ATM, right? You want it to be a machine that can turn those potential new clients into new clients. It is what it is. And absolutely, I'm an open book. I'm a believer that anyone can do what I do. And it's literally only a time investment that you have to put into it. And is your time more valuable than what we charge you? And I would say 99.9% of the time, yes, it is.
Yeah, I would rather be behind the chair and do a couple more clients and pay you to do what you do. Right. It's far less frustrating for me that way. Let's see, I was going to ask you something on that. So some salon owners are like, okay, so let's say I wanted to have you build out my website. I know there's a huge range in what goes into building out a website, and especially when we're talking about, a salon or a business in general that isn't selling anything from their website versus a business that has to have multiple, pages or tabs or whatever to sell things to things. A salon website can be fairly simple from what I understand and really, really produce good results. So maybe budget wise, I know there's a range, but I also see people say, oh, this company wanted, wants $30,000 to build me a salon website, and I'm not selling anything. I just need it to integrate with my booking software. And to me, that sounds maybe on the high end for a simple website.
Yes.
But
100%.
You can speak better to that.
Yes, absolutely. So that would be on the very, very high end of a website build. I mean, at 30 grand, you're into multinational corporation territory for a website build. We have quoted out a website build of $75,000, and that was to someone listed on the NASDAQ that, needed a very, very large site and complex with a ton of products to sell, right? What salon websites do not need to be that difficult. We say, you want your user to come on the site, and you want that user experience to be able to have a similar experience of coming into your salon. They should be able to, see some aesthetics of what your vibe is and what your salon feel is going to be when they actually get there. And then you want them to convert into a new client by pushing a book now or call now or whatever it is in front of their face. So I would say budget wise, you should probably be somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $10,000 is a pretty good budget for a salon of a decent size. If you're doing $500,000 in revenue, that's probably a decent budget that you should look at. And that can range vastly. You can get a website built for $500. You can get a website built for $30,000. But our fees are structured much differently. We are in the industry, so we went with a monthly recurring model, which makes it a lot easier for salons to budget for exactly how much it's going to cost, and they don't have to take out a small business loan to afford a new website. And one thing to think about is not just how much is a website, but what does the hosting and maintenance look like on the back end? Because what happens when you build this website or pay someone to build a $5,000 website and they build it on WordPress and you don't know WordPress, and now you need changes made? Does your fee include hosting and maintenance, and for how long? So that's one thing that we built into our project is, hey, you're going to get 2 years of hosting and maintenance. You don't have to worry about anything for that period. And then after that period, we can transition to just a hosting and maintenance plan. So that way, all you have to do is submit a support ticket. Within 48 hours, your update on your website gets completed. I hear a lot in the industry of, I emailed my website guy and I didn't hear back from him for a month or two, and Anna's still on the website and she hasn't worked there in 2 months. So, and I say this a lot, and I can guarantee with every single salon owner listening, you probably have someone on your website, on your team page that no longer works there, or you have someone working in your salon that is not on your team page yet. So almost 100% correct on that statement. So that's why hosting and maintenance is important as well, not just the build cost. So also, if you are getting a quote for a website, inquire about the hosting and maintenance plan and how much that would be on an ongoing basis.
I think that's so important, the hosting and maintenance, because I know I'm definitely guilty of that. We have some girls' profiles that they have their picture and nothing underneath it because they didn't get it to me, or they did. And now I'm like, when am I going to go update this? I don't even know what I'm doing. Right. And I hope that it's turning out. But one of my questions I guess I have is, when looking at the analytics, how do you how does an owner find that? How do they know if their website's doing well?
Good question. That takes, again, a little more time and education on your own part. And you would need to, we use Google Analytics to look at all of our website on-site data. And once you set up Google Analytics and get it attached to your site, you can see some pretty basic information. From there, the way we track our goals conversions is that we create an event trigger. So whenever someone clicks a call now button or a book now button, what's called an event is triggered on Google Analytics end. And we tie that to a goal conversion. So when someone clicks a button, then it is actually tied to a goal that we build out in Google Analytics, and we get reporting on that as well. So yeah, Google Analytics is a great tool to track visitors on your website.
Okay, so perfect.
Lindsay, on your kind of, to answer that question, from my experience with it too, is we get a monthly report actually from Salon Marketing that tells us, here's how everything's doing. Here's where you stand. And it's user friendly for me to be able to read without having to know all of, any jargon or anything like that. So I like just getting that email. We're fairly frequent users of the support ticket thing because we have a rapidly growing salon. So we, are submitting for new pictures to go up and bios to go up, and, anything like that needs to go inside. If we get some sort of a award that made me think of like when the Grinch says it on the movie, the way I said that. But we get some sort of a award. Maybe we want to, have something pop up about that. We were a top 200 salon, or that we were recognized for whatever. And so we use that support ticket thing, which is really nice. It's nice to be able to do that any time of day, just real quickly. And then also one thing I noticed just a couple weeks ago is I didn't even submit a ticket. And I got an email from one of your teammates saying, hey, we were just checking over things and we noticed that your hours I think maybe the hours on Google and the hours on the website weren't the same. And we changed our hours in the recent past, and I had forgot to submit to update them on the website. So they said, hey, we noticed that. We called your salon and spoke with the concierge at the front desk. They gave us these hours. We updated to that. I just want to let you know that we did that and, verify with you that everything's correct. And that was really cool to me because I'm busy and there's things that I overlook like that. I forget to submit work tickets sometimes. So it's really cool to have someone say like, hey, we noticed this. It's kind of like really cool. Like on a stylist end, you're doing someone's hair and they come in for a haircut and you're like, hey, I noticed you're having some breakage, or I noticed that, there's something that needs addressed. We do the same thing. So it's really cool to have it done for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not, I'm tooting my own horn here, but you're probably not going to find that with many agencies. Our package includes us actually working on your website every single month in your business to verify things are correct. And our just like you said, our team is trained to go through every site. And if you do have an SEO package with us, we are Yext partners. So every month we try to verify hours and make sure all the information is cohesive across all citations and all directories on the web. And that's part of the service that you get. You won't find that probably anywhere else for the price that we charge, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to me for a minute about Google reviews, because I know that that's something that you have said is so important. We've found it to be important. It's also something, I'm not even gonna lie, it's scary in our industry and probably in any other service industry, because you have a certain amount of control and then you have a certain amount that's just that you're controlled by. And so leveraging that to work for you, I think that the benefit far outweighs, whatever we're scared of. But we've all had those people that for whatever reason, they leave a bad review, and sometimes it's deserved. Sometimes we didn't measure up, but sometimes it's not. And so I think sometimes we steer clear of even asking for reviews or even talking about reviews or sharing reviews, because what if someone decides to post a negative one? So just talk to me, I guess, in general about the benefit of reviews and how to handle if something does go wrong.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, you're going to get reviews as a salon. If you want good reviews, you have to ask for them. You're going to get the bad reviews. It's going to happen. So the only way to actually get 5-star reviews is to ask. And we implore for all of our clients and any other salon to utilize your salon software to send a follow-up. I know a lot of these softwares now are integrated. They have Yext integration and integrations to curb bad reviews and push good reviews. So utilize the tools you have available. If your software will allow you to send a follow-up, it's well worth the minimal cost to send that text message or email to get a growing list of reviews every single month. And go ahead and let your staff know early on they're going to get a bad review. Tell them now it's going to happen. It is what it is. We're going to grow through it, but you're going to get a bad review, and I'm not going to blame you, but we're going to work through it. So having them having that, it's going to feel bad when it happens, but they take it very, very personal when it does happen. And as a salon owner, it's very easy to take all of the bad ones personal. So just know it's going to happen as part of being a business owner. You're going to get bad reviews, and have a strategy to combat that. If you start getting berated with a bunch of bad reviews, it's best to just not respond at all. There are campaigns out there that people run to do 1-star reviews. Google's algorithm, if you respond to the review that is not warranted, is harder. It takes longer to get it than if you don't respond and you just flag it and report it. So just know their
I think
algorithm
computer froze for just a minute. So tell me that again. Start with it takes longer to get it removed, because I want to make sure that's included.
Yeah, so it could take longer for you to get reviews removed if you do respond to them, because Google's algorithm will say, okay, well, this needs to go into a manual review process, which could be, days, weeks, months, who knows how long. It's a lot easier if you get a bad review that you feel is not warranted. If you just go ahead and flag it and report it as to whatever category it should be reported in, it's a lot more likely that it will get removed quicker than if you respond to it, because then Google's algorithm kicks in and says, well, there's been a response here, so now we need to go to a manual review process.
Wow, that's good to know. I never knew that. Does it actually help you? So I've heard, multiple different things that you should respond to each review, and that helps with something. Does more reviews lead to being seen higher up on a page? Like, how does it help?
Yeah, so more reviews will definitely help your Google business profile and where you show up on the maps. The more reviews, more 5-star reviews you have, as long as you're in that 4.5 and above category, even 4.3 and above, I would say is a good space to live in. And you have over 100 reviews as a salon, you're in a pretty good territory to show higher with the map rankings. Responding to every review, it's not really going to boost anything search engine optimization wise. The only thing it does is it gives the potential new client more information from you. It could make their buying decision based on your response. I always say, if you do get a legitimate negative review and you are going to respond to the negative review, you're not responding to the person that left the review. You're responding to everyone else that reads it after. So you're responding to your potential new client because they're the ones reading that review. Don't try to respond to an individual on a review response.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know you've done some things that have worked really well in your company, in your salon company, to increase those reviews. One thing that we've done in our salon, and I noticed that we get more regular reviews, is we have TVs in our salon that we used to put. I would use Flickr or different, app like that to put different pictures of our clients up there, bragging pictures, whatever, of them having, after they had their hair done. And that was really cool. And people like seeing that. But once I started, I use Canva to do some graphic stuff because it's so easy for me to use. But I started taking the reviews from Google and putting them in like something, pretty on Canva with, 5 gold stars above it and with the stylist picture, the same pictures that we have on our website of them. And it just is a slideshow that flashes through reviews the whole time the guest is in the chair. If they look up at the TV, they see different reviews, and they think it's really cool to see what about their stylist. And then without even asking, it triggers that idea of, oh, wait, I could do that while I'm sitting here processing. I could do that for my stylist, and then maybe I'll be up on the TV, with a 5-star review. And that, honestly, for us, has turned more reviews than even asking the stylist to, mention it or ask for it. So it besides, sending out emails or texts or whatever, have you tried anything similar or different that's worked well in your salon?
Well, that's an excellent idea. And if anyone has that television capability, or even, you can print them out. I think you see one behind me back here on the wall. That was Google sent us that. So you can request these things from Google and, put them up if you don't have TVs. That way, clients can see that their reviews are valued. But absolutely, that's a great idea. One thing that we did early on was we started a guest Wi-Fi network, and the password to get on the Wi-Fi is "We love reviews." So anything you can put into their mind that we really would like you to review us. On any, I don't know if people do this anymore, but appointment cards, if you have appointment cards that you give clients, it's great to have a blurb on there asking for a review. So, any place that you can plant that seed and, continue to kind of harp on the review aspect of things is great.
Very cool. I was looking over some things that you shared with us before this podcast. And one of the lessons that you said you've learned over the years is to always be hiring and to grow associates. So I know we're jumping kind of into more of the, actually what's happening in the salon, not what's happening behind the scenes with website, but I'm curious about that. So talking about hiring, you say always be hiring. I'm assuming that's because of the rapid growth that you've had, but also because people move away, people quit, people change careers, people, change salons. And that's a normal and natural thing that also is one of the things that as owners, we're like, don't leave me. But it happens. And so always be hiring. I would agree with that, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having young talent in your salon is the lifeblood of everything. Every salon owner is going to have a walkout at some point. If you stay open long enough, you're going to have a sizable walkout of multiple stylists within a 60-day period. It's going to happen. So having young talent there and, having a protocol in place to continue a hiring process and, having relationships with schools and being able to hire young talent is very, very important. And then having that associate program where, if you do have a walkout or something happens, that you can rapidly get stylists onto the floor to take clients that ideally are continuing to come in through the call volume that you're doing with your marketing. So, having those things in place can shorten your recovery period when something bad does happen, or just it will continue to feed your growth. So, it's really twofold, whether you feel like, you need to grow or you're in a place of comfort. I would say never just be comfortable. Continue hiring, continue growing your young team, because something like that could happen and it could really decimate your salon if you don't have things in place.
So to go in with that, I completely agree. But getting that tied kind of into the marketing, I think one of the biggest questions that's always asked is where do you find them and how do you get them to want to come work for you? So is there